the stores without the booster. Yeah, yeah. No, we ain't gonna eat. So yeah, you're on the Two Shot channel now, and if you're watching this for the first time, you've definitely clicked the wrong link. So get out here and phone your parents and tell them you love them, because you may not get another chance. I'm not kidding.
Two Shot.
It's getting smarter. Hello, Two Shot fans, and welcome to Welfare Talk.
You can hear me, Marvin Caribou.
Welfare Talk, yeah, that's actually going to seem like a high point compared to what's going to happen soon. The country's shut off to the ports of Vancouver. They're trying to downplay it like, a few bags of rice go missing. Nobody notices. Yeah, you know, Canada is actually the third most high producer of grains in the entire world. Just right behind the US, like, we're up there, 14-something%, and Russia. I would have thought Russia was all just wasteland and unoccupied, like, battlegrounds for people fist fighting and breaking their own legs. Seriously though, I'm a little worried about this. The highways have all been simultaneously exploded, government conspiracy.
They were planting explosion devices in roads and railroad areas, all pre-planned, pre-orchestrated for this attack.
But no, they just happened to go down from erosion and water, and this giant 40-day and 40-night in the equivalent of like a few hours rainfall that we had the other night. I was like wondering what that sound was. It sounded like a war was going on outside. I was, you know, scared, obviously, eating my last pale ice cream in the corner crying, wearing a little schoolgirl dress. Probably, what? Okay. Seriously though, a video I'd like to review from Port of Vancouver from some guy named Innocent Steve. Or Ice Age Farm. He reminds me of a guy named Steve, that's why. Never, long story.
My friends, this story of the atmospheric river that brought tremendous flooding to parts of British Columbia is really one of nested catastrophes, which is to say,
Wow.
This is not just a problem for the folks on the ground there who've been flooded out, experienced loss of life, whose grocery stores are running out of food, where farmers were working tirelessly through the night to try and evacuate their livestock out of the way of
It's like
these
Egypt
floods,
all over again.
which is no small feat.
Livestock.
That, as you can read here, Fraser Valley farmers supply 50% of British Columbia's eggs, chicken, and dairy. So this is going to have a lasting impact to British Columbia's food supply. But stepping back, with the demolition, effectively, of the highways and the rail service that connects Vancouver to the rest of Canada, and now the complete closure of the Port of Vancouver, one of the few deep water ports in Canada.
Port of Vancouver, the complete closure. At first I didn't understand this. Like, how does rain in here, like, cutting off roads, why do they have to cut off the Port of Vancouver? Because obviously you can't just, you know, okay, we're just gonna unload all this stuff and leave it here. Like, who's gonna drive it, right? There's no roads. I guess nobody left. They've been cut off just meticulously. There's nowhere to go. Like, Canada and BC are cut off. We're a third of Canada. He's gonna tell you, a third of Canada's grain supply and a lot of other supply. There's automobiles, there's alcohol, buddy. Well, I think we have our own breweries here, thankfully. That pretty much solves most of the problem, I guess. I guess fentanyl supply is going to go down for once. Gotta have all these people scratching their arms, running around in circles. I'm not dead yet for some reason.
This is something that is going to have a catastrophic effect across the entire world. That's easy to understand when we look at some of the data today indicating that Canada and, of course, the United States together are like the number 1 and 2 exporters of grains. And so with the rest of the ports on the West Coast already being tremendously congested, as we've been talking about since the middle of 2020, this really feels like we're witnessing with this event the point of impact of the slow motion train wreck that is the supply chain cascading failure.
Supply chain cascading failure. I don't know as much about all those big grade 10 words that this guy does, but I know that if trucks can't drive food to places, then you have what we had today. There were no toilet paper, which is pretty much just like reliving our great memories of COVID back when it was just an Asian problem. And what's that other stuff? Oh, milk. Yeah, milk. That's pretty popular. People drink that. There was that fad back in, like, what, 2009? Do we have a clip of 2009 and how people listened to music back then? Can we run that? Yeah, back then when they listened to that music, that whatever I decided to play in editing, then milk was bad for you. Yes, because milk was bad for you. It didn't really do anything. Milk and lettuce were worthless. But all of a sudden, people put lettuce on their sandwiches again because it tastes good and it's green. And rabbits eat it, and rabbits are our friends. And milk. It makes the body strong, and it goes in our fucking cereal, you bitch. This is serious, though. I want milk, and I'm going to go hoard a whole bunch coming to end of days. So apparently they're going to open up the borders for people, at least around here, in Washington, BC, for people that haven't had a COVID shot. I've seen a little bit of that. Let's, can we run the Google clip on that?
The Canadian government has announced it's lifting COVID-19 testing requirements.
Yeah, that's what, if I've been sitting like on the side, I've been like this, I'm like, hello, welcome to my news report, where I always sit on the side and occasionally go like this, la 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 la. I don't know why I'm so happy. Probably because YouTube has to have happiness. Maybe we could do it like, I was watching some Alice in Chains a while ago. Kiss the stars without the rooster. Yeah, yeah. No, we ain't gonna eat. That's good.
Let's talk about that and look at some data and talk about why it's not going to be a quick fix to get that rail service back running, transporting the grains that have just been harvested from Canada out to the rest of the world.
That Justin harvested for Canada?
Problems for
Did I
everyone.
hear that right?
I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer.
I'm Christian. This is the Ice Age, whatever.
It's happening there on the ground. Everything I just said is real. That's actually happening. There's plenty of people reporting on that. So I want to focus instead on this broader impact that
This guy's really smart.
But we need to understand. So here from American Shipper, flooding has cut off the Port of Vancouver rail service. We can expect terminal disruptions, vessel delays, and so forth. Quote, significant portions of the Canadian National Rail and Canadian Pacific Rail lines serving the port, Canada's largest port, have been shut down after heavy rain pounded the province in the Pacific Northwest. The consequences likely will be felt throughout the Canadian supply chain, and indeed the world, adding delays for shipments of everything from containers to bulk commodities. Now, what does it mean to shut down the Port of Vancouver?
What does it mean to shut down the Port of Vancouver?
To get a sense for what exactly they're doing. The Port of Vancouver, Canada's largest port, is about the same size as the next largest 5 Canadian ports combined. It's the most diversified range of cargo in North America, handling bulk, containers, break bulk, liquid bulk, automobiles, and cruise. The port handles 1 of every $3 of Canada's trade in goods outside North America. It's a third.
Vancouver's port is huge, man.
Supposed to be getting out.
Halifax ain't got nothing on that. Yo, Jon Snow.
It's not just grains and foods. It's also automobiles that are supposed to be coming in, and tractor parts, agricultural equipment, livestock feed, chemicals and fertilizers. All of these things that we need to keep our way of life going are no longer coming in. And as far as the grains getting out, it's worth noting that the U.S.
There it is.
and
There's that
Canada
money I was talking
are the number
about.
2 and
I know
3
about money and
exporters
stuff.
of wheat. So the rest of the world needs to take note that a third of Canada's 14% of the world's exported wheat has just stopped. This is stopped for now.
All right, this is bad news. We're going to have to come out with that a little later. Let's get on to some other stuff that I have here. I've got some other stuff. You better see it. I've come up with an idea because I'm really smart at using my brain. There's a Portland in Oregon and a Portland in Maine. It's scrolling. Driving an extra 500 plus kilometers wasn't exactly on the itinerary when my family and I booked a weekend trip to go see the Packers play the Seattle Seahawks in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Don't talk about Wisconsin. By the way, we crushed them 17-0. Sorry, Seahawks fans, but that's exactly what happened, with Willie Nelson's On the Road again playing in the background. I love that song. Having flown out of Vancouver, we found ourselves, like many others, cut off from home to go back. Jesus Christ, man. Flown out of Vancouver, found ourselves, like many others, cut off from home. 3 of BC's major highways connecting the lower mainland. Yeah, we already know about that. Okay, play. Okay, ready? Shoo. The only way to Kamloops was either by air, a minimum $400 per person, if you could find a seat, or driving to the U.S. We opted for the latter. You will need a passport or similar document to enter the United States. No kidding, eh? I mean, what's an extra 7 to 10 hour drive? We entered the U.S. at the Peace Arch crossing in Surrey, thinking we'd be running into long lineups. Nope, not a single car was behind or was in front of us. It felt a bit eerie, as my mom put it. They're already dead. They're already dead. Isn't that White Zombie? No way. I think that is. We took Highway 2, followed by Highway 97. That's after you drive, like, almost to Oregon. All the way to the Oroville-Osoyoos border crossing. I'm happy to see, blah, blah, blah. that might change now. The Canadian government has announced it's lifting COVID-19 testing requirements for people choosing to drive through Washington State to bypass highways. Does that mean you still need a vaccine, or does that mean you can get in scot-free because it's a, yeah, right. I'm not welcomed anywhere. And when I was in grade 5, they didn't even let me go on the field trips. I had to drive with my dad separately than go on the bus with the kids to go to the ski hills in Nelson. Yeah. But, oh, here's a map. Okay, we're in Chilliwack. We're zooming in. That's Agassiz. My mom lives in that area. Hi. And there's that bridge that you can go over now to Rosedale. As you can see, right at the corner, it's cut off the whole way. They just happened to get it to the corner to give some people some hope. So everyone wasn't completely trapped in. Like, Chilliwack would be screwed. If they want to go anywhere, they literally have to either take their personal helicopter, like Barney Gumble, or they have to go up to the east another, like, 20-minute drive or 10-minute whatever drive that is up to Rosedale and all the way around. Abbotsford is flooded. I think I have some friends out there, but I don't know if anyone lives in that flat area. They're just farmers mostly, but that's a huge area. The road is submerged and some of it I think broke. Now we go over to Highway 5, I-5. We're taking a look here. This is the border. There's Blaine. I'm wondering what those red spots are, because you can see the little thing that arrows on there, slow, and yeah. Like, red is slow and green is fast. I think it's red with the little arrow or the line, right? That's obviously submerged, like done, broken bridges. The bridges collapsed on all these highways, like Coquihalla. There were just, oh man, how did it happen at the same time in all these places? What were the odds? Can we run that conspiracy theory thing maybe a little later? Maybe now.
What it was is they were planting explosion devices in roads and railroad.
I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead. I'm already dead.
I don't know if I believe all that stuff. Bombs? That's like 9/11. Okay, so we're going over to Orville again. There's Soyas Orville. That's where that cop stopped us and thought I was a little girl when I was 10 years old because I had my hair all long like a hippie because I thought Kiefer Sutherland was cool. And they pulled us over because they thought I was being abducted, and then they let us go 2 hours later. True story. Yeah. Just because that's what they do. They see someone, they get a little suspicious, and they do that. Yet, people like Gage Groats get to walk around carrying guns in a fake paramedic hat. All these highways have been destroyed. As you can see, go through... I'm not sure, actually, if we go all the way down here. Okay, we're going to skip a little ways. Yeah. Okay, Highway 11, Abbotsford. That highway gets just completely cut off and submerged. Those are those fields they were showing on that channel, Cairo News or whatever, that Seattle news place. As we can see, Highway 5, though, goes down through Bellingham safely. If you try to cut across here on Highway 20, which I know everyone was always thinking of because they wanted to be impatient, they just couldn't be patient, it's pretty cut off through that mountainous area. But yet, for some reason, I guess landslides and stuff, yeah, they got those too. But if we go down a little further, well, actually, that's just Seattle. Okay, I was wrong. I said almost Oregon. It looked a long ways on that map. It looks like there's mountains and millions of miles going on. Either way, you got to go across Highway 2. Okay, you can see it goes all the way over there to the Okanagan, and yeah, so it's like a long time. So there you go. That's my secret to you. You can... Okay.